Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Thanks for joining me again with another Magic the Gathering Arena video. Before we get started, like always, thanks for coming back and checking out my stuff. Got plenty of content coming. We are still affiliated with the Gray Vikings, so you can use my link down below to go make all of your Magic the Gathering Arena purchases there for card sleeves, cosmetics, pets and stuff like that. They have a lot of older codes that you kind of can't get anymore. Anytime you use my link to buy something from them, I rack up points that in turn I can turn around and spend on codes for like packs, cosmetics, sleeves, stuff like that I can turn around and give out to you, my fans. And also, before we get started, please like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know if there's any games you would like to see me play in the future. It doesn't matter what system it's from. If there's any Magic the Gathering Arena decks you would like to see me make, please let me know down below. And if there is just any content you want to see at all from me, whether it's something that I've done before or haven't done before, please definitely let me know. I'm trying to branch out and really get things on the ball this year. Now, with that long introduction said, let's get into a deck that got me into Mythic last season. A very fun tribal deck. As you know, I'm a big tribal man. And today we have red, black, and blue pirates. So, let's go ahead, go over the deck, do 2 out of 3 matches. The first card up is March of the Drowned, 1 black mana. We get to choose one. We can return target creature from our graveyard to our hand, or we can return 2 target pirate cards from your graveyard to your hand. It's a very good card. It helps us get back pirates if any end up getting put into the grave if we need to refill our hand. So we have 2 of those. Next up is Goblin Tomb Raider, 1 red, a 1/2. As long as you control an artifact, Goblin Tomb Raider gets +1/+0 and has haste. So when you drop him on the field, as long as you control an artifact, he'll get +1/+0 and haste. It's a pretty good little creature for 1 red mana. Next up, we have Malcolm, Alluring Scoundrel, 1 blue, 1 anything, 2/1 with flash, which means you may cast it on your opponent's turn. Well, anytime you could cast an instant, really. It has flying. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you put a chorus counter on it, then you draw a card and discard a card. Now, if there are 4 or more chorus counters on Malcolm, you may cast the discarded card without paying its mana cost. So basically, towards the late game, if he has 4 counters, he allows you to cast the discarded card for free without paying its mana cost. It's pretty good. He's got flying, helps us get through some of our creatures at a lower mana cost. So we got about 2 in the deck. It is a rare. We are trying to keep this on somewhat of a budget with, keeping in the means of what wild cards we have and what we can spend. So obviously this is not like the final deck. It can be made much better, I think. Next up is one of my favorite pirates currently, Staunch Crewmate. 1 blue, 1 anything, 2/1. When he enters the battlefield, you get to look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact or pirate card from among them and put it to your hand and put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. It's a low mana curve. He helps us search for a pirate or artifact card that we need in a pinch. Overall, it's very good. You're going to want to have four of him in your deck. Next up, we have Subterranean Schooner, 1 blue, 1 anything. It is a artifact vehicle with crew 1. It's a 3/4. When it attacks, target creature that crewed it explores. Now, 2 things. Crew is to tap any number of other creatures you control with total power that is equal to or more than the crew cost. So its crew is 1, so you would crew 1 untapped creature you control with power 1 or more. Now, when he attacks, the creature that crewed it gets to explore. Now, explore says you reveal the top card of your library, put that card into your hand if it's a land. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, then put the card back or put it into your graveyard. So again, this not only helps as somewhat of a search engine, but it allows us to give out +1/+1 counter of low mana cost. So we can even crew it on our opponent's turn if we want to. If we have a creature with summoning sickness and this doesn't, to block an opponent's creature. I was thinking about including more, but again, if I included all the rares I really wanted to in this deck, this would be a very high budget deck, and we're trying not to lean into that at the moment. We're broke. We have Walk the Plank next up for 2 blacks. It's straightforward. You get to destroy target non-merfolk creature. It's perfect for a pirate deck. And next up, we have Captain Storm Cosmium Raider. 1 red, 1 blue, 2/2. When an artifact enters the battlefield, we can put a +1/+1 counter on a pirate we control. So again, we are going to be creating artifacts and playing artifacts, so not with her out on the field, we'll not only benefit from our artifacts being out there, but we'll be able to put +1/+1 counters on pirates that we control. It's pretty good. We have 3 of her in the deck. And next up is Kitesail Larcenous, 1 blue, 2 anything, a 2/3. It's got flying and ward 1. When he enters the battlefield, for each player, that counts for you and your opponent, you get to choose up to 1 other target artifact or creature that player controls. So that means you can target a thing you control and a thing your opponent controls as well. Both. So, for as long as Kitesail Larcenous remains on the battlefield, the chosen permanents become treasure artifacts with tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color, and loses all other abilities. So, yeah. You ever wanted to see Sheholdred or somebody like that turn into a treasure? This is the man to do it. And next up, we have Britches Eager Pillager. This is a card I would definitely run more of in the deck, at least 1 more of, but it is a legendary, so the legendary rule does apply to it. But it's 1 red, 2 anything, 3/3 with first strike. Whenever a pirate you control attacks, you get to choose 1 that hasn't been chosen before. Between create a treasure token, target creature can't block this turn, and exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. Now, a really cool thing is, if you have him out on the field and 2 other pirates, and you attack with him and those 2 other pirates, you get to proc all 3 of those. Create a treasure token, target creature can't block, and you get to exile the top card of your library. It's absolutely insane. A 3 mana cost for 3/3 with first strike and those type of abilities is definitely what a deck like this needs. Next up, we have Fiery Cannonade, because it wouldn't be a pirate deck without some cannons. 1 red, 2 of anything. It deals 2 damage to each non-pirate creature. So since we're in Pirate Tribal, none of our creatures will take the 2 damage, only our opponent's creatures. Our next card is Kamachel, ship's mascot. Hope we said it right. 1 red, 2 anything, 2/2 with menace. You can pay 1 red to give it +1/+0 until end of turn to make him a little cheap pump up. But the kicker with him is, whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you get to create a treasure token. Then exile from that player's library a random card with mana value equal to the damage dealt. You may cast that card this turn. So if you hit your opponent for 2 damage, you get to exile a random card from his library with mana value equal to 2. And then you may cast that card whenever it's your turn. Now the cool thing is, even if you don't decide to cast a turn, the card is still exiled. So that means your opponent's not going to be able to use the card, period. So even if you get a card that you can't play because it's got too high of a mana cost or something like that, you're still taking away a card from your opponent's deck. It's a very, very good card. Again, he's another legendary creature. I would definitely run more of him, but with the legendary rule being in effect, and we already have quite a few legendary creatures in the deck, we just have 1 in here for now. And next up, we have Plundering Pirate, 1 red, 2 anything. When he enters the battlefield, you create a treasure token. He has 3 power and 2 toughness. So it's pretty straightforward token generator and a beat stick for our pirate with a relatively low mana curve. Our next card is a very interesting one. If you know about the incarnations, they are very powerful creatures that have some really crazy effects that aren't currently in Arena right now, besides Wonder, and I think maybe one other. I'm not too sure. But Wonder is 1 blue, 3 anything, 2/2, and it has flying. As long as Wonder is in your graveyard and you control an island, creatures you control have flying. Yes, you read that right. As long as this thing is in your graveyard and you control an island, which we will since we are heavily in blue, all your creatures are going to have flying when they're on the battlefield. That is absolutely insane. And combine that with all of our pirates, we are going to be able to hit our opponent really, really easy, which is what we want to do for the main star of the deck. And now, before we get to our main star, we have Hostage Taker. 1 black, 1 blue, 2 anything, 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, we can exile another target creature or artifact until Hostage Taker leaves the battlefield. Now, you may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it. So, as long as our opponent doesn't remove our Hostage Taker, we can literally play whatever card we removed. Again, it's pirates. We're all about stealing, making their opponent's creatures crew members. She's got to go in the deck. And last but not least, we have the Admiral Beckett Brass. It's a red, black, blue, and 1 of anything. It's a 3/3. He's going to give your other pirates +1/+1. And at the beginning of your end step, gain control of target non-land permanent controlled by a player who was dealt combat damage by 3 or more pirates this turn. Now, I will note, there is a new Beckett Brass that came out in the last set, not the murder set that's out now, but the last set. I was thinking about using her, but I'm really not a big fan of her, and I much like Beckett Brass better, because I just love stealing my opponent's crap. And to round out the rest of the deck, we have our lands, 5 island, 3 thriving isles, so we can tech in black or red on top of blue to help fixate our mana color, 4 basic swamps, 5 basic mountain, 3 thriving bluff, acts as the same functions as thriving isle. We have Shivering Reef and Storm Carved Coast for our red and blue mana generations if we need it. And then we have Cavern of Souls. Now, if you have 4 Cavern of Souls, I would drop 3 lands and add 3 more to make a total of 4 Cavern of Souls for this deck. And I would recommend that for any tribal deck, just on the principle that this card, when it comes into the battlefield, you choose a creature type. So if you're playing tribal like Pirate, which is your whole deck, you would call Pirate. Now you get to tap it, add colorless mana, or you can tap it to add 1 mana of any color. Now, here's the fun part. You can spend this mana only to cast a creature spell of the chosen type, and that spell can't be countered. So, if you're playing up against a blue deck and they ain't got nothing but counter spells, and you manage to drop one of these bad boys in the early game, you're guaranteed to be able to play anything, unless your opponent can somehow destroy your land. So overall, that is the deck in its little shell. As always, we're going to do the best 2 out of 3 matches. I'll show you how it fares in historic ranked to give you the best look at the deck. Pay no attention to some of these other decks. Some of those I will showcase in a couple of other upcoming videos. So off the bat, not a bad hand. We are gonna have to wait, since we don't have any We don't have any mana right now that will be untapped when it comes into play. But as long as our opponent is not playing a really cheap pump-up deck, but he is in white and black, so. And it looks like we have a zombie deck, maybe? Hopefully we can draw a land next turn so we can drop Plundering Pirate, and then on turn 4 we can play Brass, as long as she doesn't get destroyed. But he is in black, so it's kind of a little risky. But if we can go ahead and if he can burn some of his removal spells, that would be really nice. We'll go ahead and call Pirate. We'll play Plundering Pirate. Can't be countered, so it's gonna hit the battlefield and trigger its effect. And he's definitely gonna kill it off. Yep. I knew that off the bat. But that's good. That's one removal out of his hand. We know he has maybe 1 or 2 more lands in his hand. Alright, he's going to go ahead and burn another removal. That's fine. They have DK, so they die whenever the end of combat. That's fine. We are going to have to be careful because we cannot afford Brass being destroyed early game. So let's just go ahead and pump up our Raider, and we'll pass our turn and see what our opponent does. Gonna go ahead and use 1 more removal card, but at least this way we'll have a creature out on the field to block to protect our life with. Definitely gonna drop Wonder. Now, I mean, yeah. We are gonna play Brass next turn, so just in case he does get destroyed, we got a backup already. Now, if he removes Wonder, he's an idiot, because that will be his death sentence. Tokens die. I'm surprised he hasn't played another enchantment like Grave Pact or something. That's a very nasty combo. We won't talk about that combo right now, but Brass can't attack, we can crew, so we can attack with another creature. Now he's definitely going to play removal. That's fine, that's fine. We managed to save our choose up to 2. So we'll take a blue and we'll take a black. We just got another. Oh yeah, boy, we stacked on mana right now, boy. He's probably gonna go ahead and burn another removal. Sir, you're so original, aren't you, bud? He's gonna choose, yeah, I'm about to say, he's definitely gonna choose the other Beckett Brass. He would be dumb if he didn't. Hey, but look at there, another one. Yeah, and another one. So you know what? Yeah. Don't give in. Keep the pressure on. Oh nope, he's calling it. That's game. Unless he's baiting me. Let's see. Do you have another one of those? Yeah. Yeah, he baited me. We caught it. But he does know he's helping me really bad right now. Because he's helping me pull my lands out of my deck. You're gonna run out of burn cards here in a minute, dude. Yeah, see, now you're about to be really screwed. He's gonna have to use another removal. He has no choice. We just have to outlast him at this point. And I think we're gonna be able to do that. Next turn he's dead. There you go, folks. We just beat a black and white deck. That was aggravating, ladies and gentlemen. And the man literally did not want me to have anything on the field. But that's why this deck is also very creature heavy. Because even if we do lose a couple creatures, we got plenty of more waiting. Since that match took a little bit longer than I wanted it to, this is probably going to be our last matchup for today. Let's see. Oh man, I really wish it could have drew us some blue mana. We could wait, but I think we're going to have to take a mulligan. All right, that's a little bit better. We can work with that. Gotta get that blue and red out there. And we can just play black. Making a lot of noise over there. Go ahead and start things off with Wonder. Well, you are a very, very dumb boy. But see, we have to control an island at this point, which we do not, so until we do, we're going to be kind of SOL on giving our creatures flying, which is kind of a bummer, but just gonna have to build our board back up again. I'm assuming this is another person who has nothing but destruction. He's playing 5 color though. So trying to muster something up. Let's try to put a little bit of pressure on and see if he has an answer to brass. Well, he's about to be making a lot of tokens of something. Yeah, we're gonna have to finish this man off quick. And that's an enchantment, so we can't use Hostage Taker on it. Do gotta be careful though, because he's playing a 5 color, so. Dang, I wish he would have drew us something we could have actually benefited from instead of another land. But it's fine. The less lands we have in the deck and on the field, the better. Ain't good. Oh, he's about to destroy all of our crap. Oh no. He's gonna return it. That's an enchantment too, so we can't target it with Larcenist or Hostage Taker. So that's 5, 10, 15. Or is that 20? No, that's only 15. Oh no, okay, he's gonna wipe and wipe and wipe. Probably gonna kill us right here with the burn spell, I would assume. I doubt he'll mill his whole deck. He's probably got Gaia's Blessing in there, so we can't hope for that. That's game. The game went on too long, and he kept on just stabilizing the board, stabilizing the board. Can't stand this type of deck. That's all they do. They all depend on one little combo. They just try to maintain the board the whole time and they can pull their stupid crap off. And it's sad. You call that having no skill, sir. But that's what happens when you play ranked. You get a bunch of little try-hardy stupid people. Alright, everybody. I'll pull the deck back up one more time so you can check it out. The matches are a little bit longer than I want them to be. People keep on playing the stupid stabilizing crap. We will end up making a deck here eventually that ends up stopping, and it'll be a stacks deck for all the old people who know what stacks is. So definitely stay tuned for that, because we're going to try to break the meta with it once we get it made. But here is the pirate deck. Get one last look at it. I hope you've all enjoyed this video. We would have squeezed in one more battle, but those two battles right there went on a little bit longer than I wanted to. But I hope you've all enjoyed. I have plenty more Magic the Gathering arena videos and game videos and all sorts of stuff in the pipeline. I just got to get some of it through the editing process, which, takes a couple hours sometimes. Sometimes the videos don't come out properly and I have to redo them and whatnot. But we are steadily working hard on producing content for you all, so definitely tell your friends and spread the word. And with that, everybody, I will catch you all in the next one.